Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a foundation not look like shit when you're having a shitty skin day like I am today. My eyebrows have grown out. I tried to kind of clean up my mustache area. Didn't really work out too well. I just got a lot of hyperpigmentation in this area and I don't know what's going on with my spots. Like, this is just like an acne scar, but like usually they go away. Why is it still here? I'm gonna do like a little bit of color correcting, not too much because I do want to make an in-depth video about that. What I want to do is I want to moisturize. Now, if you have dry flaky skin, this is gonna be a bit hard because sometimes moisturizer doesn't really help with that. Just moisturize anyway. Even if you have oily skin, that kind of helps it. People don't think that it does, but it does. Luckily I've got quite normal skin with dry patches and then combination up here, so I guess I'm kind of lucky. But around here I've been getting really dry lately because I've got breakouts, and then for some reason they're like dry. They're dry spots, they're not like oily spots, but they've got like a lot of pus in them. I don't know how to explain it. My face is just going through like a stress phase, like post-period stress induced phase. I'm gonna really work it in. Now make sure all of your utensils, all of your tools are clean. Most of mine are clean, semi-clean. I just usually like spot treat them. I just haven't gotten around to completely washing everything, deep washing it. Do as I say, not as I do. It's just really important to keep hydrating your skin. For primer, I'm going to use the MAC Strobe Cream. I love this stuff. It keeps me hydrated and glowy, and when you're having a bad skin day, I doubt you want to look matte. I reckon unless you're trying to hide your imperfections, then you want to look more matte because you're not trying to get their attention, but at the same time you're trying to hide from looking dry. I don't know, this is so hard to explain. If you want to make your skin look more alive, I doubt you want to make it matte unless you're like really trying to hide imperfections. But right now we're just having a bad skin day, so I'm just taking extra care working that into my skin, so I don't have to work the foundation too much into my skin. If you like pore filling products, now's the time to use it. I don't like pore filling products because last time I tried one, it broke me out. Then again, it was a cheap one. If you want to use like Professional or like the other pore filling primers and stuff like that, now is the time. I did my brows off camera just to save time, and now I'm going to do some steps before we put on foundation. This is the LA Girl Pro Concealer in green. This is a green corrector that counteracts redness. I'm ever so slightly going to just apply this on small like red spots that I have. Now this is kind of like a given. I'm not gonna like do this with my whole face. It is not worth it. It is not going to help. This green counteraction will not do anything if you don't do it right. If you put too much on, your foundation can look green, like your whole face will look green. If you don't do it well enough, it won't do anything. I know I probably shouldn't use the actual tip, but these aren't active breakouts, so if they are active, please use your finger or use a brush and don't contaminate it. It's quite a lot, but I didn't even squeeze it. I then like to take a stippling brush. This one's already kind of, you can tell that I use this for color correcting, and I kind of really just ever so slightly mesh it in. Again, if you have dry patches, this might not be a good idea. And it can, like, it might seem like a big tool to do this, but it just melts it in. This is not for everyone. What I do next is, because this LA Girl concealer sometimes doesn't do much, I take a powder. This is the Essence All About Matte powder. Just make sure you get a finely milled translucent powder, or it can be colored. Just make sure it's very finely milled. This one, luckily, is finely milled. I usually use my By Terry powder, but I thought I'd use something different today. Stipple a bit on, and then just pat it in. Now, a lot of people don't believe in cream soap powders. If you do it right, it works. Only if you're not prone to dry patches, though, because that might end up looking really cakey. This is a way to make it not cakey. Just stipple it really finely. And the fact that we have multiple layers of hydration under our skin already, that helps. I got some of my eBay glitters in the mail. This one is gorgeous, look at it. So they're not like completely eye safe, but it's like It's like more like for like festival looks, which is, that season is coming to a close. I guess there's like Splendor in July, but maybe we'll do some looks for then, I don't know. Okay, so just for some extra hydration, I will just put some setting spray slash just hydration spray. This is the Smashbox primer. It's the only one that's in front of me, so just to make sure that powder doesn't like leave a residue that will affect the foundation's application. It shouldn't though, it shouldn't. I'm going to apply some cream highlighter because just to keep that texture of the skin looking glowy. If you have like texture here, it's better to use a cream highlighter more, maybe even like a liquid highlighter than a cream, just to make sure that when you put powder on top it gets a bit texturized. Putting a cream there is better. For some people it's not good, so it really depends on your skin type. Have a play around. For me, I'm fine with putting extra highlighter on. It actually, like my skin, my friend always says like I have the perfect texture for highlighter because it doesn't show up dry or like ugly looking. So I'm just using the Sleek Solstice palette because I can't find any of my other cream highlighters. This is what it looks like, and I'm just patting it in, and it looks heavy right now, but I'll put foundation over it and it won't look as heavy. I'm not about the disco ball life. I know some people are, but I'm not, especially just for day to day. But because I've had a bad skin day, I would rather look glowy than not. And that's going over the color corrector, which is fine by me. Like, it doesn't really matter at this point. Again, this part is just optional. It's just for me to aid in my, I guess, agenda, which is to just look glowing and like I've got healthy looking skin. I like mixing oils with my foundation. Again, if you have oily skin, this may not be the best idea. I'm using the Rhodile Stem Cell Superfood Facial Oil. It's more of a serum, but I mix it with my moisturizer at night, so it's going to help me with my foundation today. And my foundation, I'm just using the Josie Moran one because it's what I have on me, and it's just what I wear if I'm wanting a nice dewy makeup. I know I keep using it in all my videos, but so I'm just going to do a pump. That's half a pump. And then I'll put the oil on after. Usually I mix them onto like a plate, but I don't have a plate on me. And this is half a pump, and the key with foundation is less is more. The more you cake on, the more it's going to look like your skin is like not able to breathe, and it's just going to look more congested than if it wasn't. So I like to just use a paddle brush, spread out. I'm going to use another half pump. Spread out as much foundation as I can, right? Instead of like using a sponge that will soak it up and having to use more foundation. So I'm just spreading it all out with a paddle brush. See, this is technically like 1.5 pumps maybe, and I spread it out everywhere. Then I'm going to use a Real Techniques Expert Face Brush because I love these brushes to buff foundation in, and carefully just pressing in and like short downward strokes. These hairs on my face are becoming an issue. Like, they're just bugging me. Like, I get it. Everyone has facial hair, but I hate it so much. The forehead is like my least favorite part to do. Just a bit on these areas here. Now you can go in there with a sponge and just press in everything. Make sure everything is a-okay and not like looking streaky if the brush had left any streaks. My favourite corrector that I've used for years is Benefit's Erase Paste. I'm only using it in the areas that I need, and then using my finger to blend it in. At this point you can use any concealer because we've corrected everything. I'm just going in with my CoverGirl one because it's a bit more brightening, and just brightening up anything that I need to. It's just a bit under here, and just like the points where like people usually conceal recently. A la Instagram. Again, less is more. Just take your time in blending, and you don't need to keep adding. There are some blemishes I do wish to conceal, like parts that weren't done up with the correction. I'm going to use MAC Pro Longwear. I forgot the name of it. I'm just using a bit. I could also use the Makeup Forever. Not Makeup Forever. I could also use the Makeup Store Trio with this shade, but that's a bit too light for me right now. So they also have correcting shades in that, but this is my favorite to correct, to cover blemishes. Just pinpoint the areas, like you don't need too much. Yeah, the problem with prolonged wear is that it pumps out so much and you don't need that much because it's so highly pigmented. And again, don't always cover everything. Like, you want to also make your skin look like it's skin, just covering things. Also just a bit to shape my brow. I don't know how they ended up there. I forgot to add the oil. Of course I did. Alright, so the oil, I forgot to add it, but I'm just going to put a couple drops on the sponge and just put them on the points of my face that I want to keep hydrated. So oil doesn't mix well with water, so be careful. And you can see, if you want to powder, I will probably end up powdering, just because my smile lines and everything, they don't do well with foundation on its own. I'm using Laura Mercier, everyone's favorite classic. And I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush. I don't even know if they make this anymore, but it's just a nice, like, small precision brush just to powder the parts where you need under your eye. I know I put oil here, but my face adapts. In this area, the part where I could even bake is here. Powdering this area because this needs to be powdered, or else the foundation will be gone and what's left will be my redness. And then just down here where I had to conceal. Now to contour. Cream contouring is fun. I'm not doing that today. I'm just going to use Benefit Cooler. If you have a lot of texture, don't contour too much. What I like to do is just start like in this area, and I just really so slightly. You don't have to keep going down. It's not necessary. It'll make it look more natural, and that like you didn't actually contour, but you actually just have really nice cheekbones. Obviously, double chin. I've kind of been eating a lot this past couple of weeks, so my double chin's showing through, but diet and exercise, guys, diet and exercise. And just ever so slightly over the top. And this is as far as I'll go to contouring my nose, just brushing whatever's left. I don't always blush, but if you want to add a bit of life to your face after you've covered up the redness, so it's so much logic in that. I will go in with an oldie. What a goodie, the Bacon Blush from Hourglass. This one has a little bit of the Hourglass ambient lighting powder mixed with it, so it's going to help with the glow. And for the actual highlighter, let's just go for it. I'm using an Indiscretion by Laura Mercier because it's my most like natural glowing from within looking highlighter that doesn't get too powdery looking. So just putting that over it, just ever so slightly. It's not too shimmery. I'm going to use whatever's left over on my hand from the concealer to prime my eyelids. I'm going to fly through this so that you don't get bored. I'm using Modern Renaissance, which is so dirty. Look at how dirty it got. There's no going back after that. Like, look. This has been used and abused. Bon Fresco in my crease. And then I'm using Love Letter in the outer corner. I wanted to put something matte on my lid, but I think I'm just going to go in with Antique Bronze there on the lid. And then on my inner corner, I'm just going in with Tempera, which is the lightest color. Just because the inner corner kind of got lost. And mascara, Maybelline Push Up. Also, if you're looking a bit down, I suggest getting like a brightening pencil and putting it in the waterline. Also, don't do these tones if you're looking like, if you've got really dark under eyes. I know that I shouldn't have done this, but use a bit more brighter colors so you don't look like you've been punched in the face if you don't really know how to use these tones very well. Use like greens and even purples. Use like greens and neutrals if you're going for like a more wide-eyed look. Or even don't even use eyeshadow at all. Either just eyeliner or just mascara if you're wanting to look more fresh faced. Or like a white, like just a white on the inner corner. But for me, it's more like the redness on my face. Then I don't really have any dark circle issues at the moment. Even though I am pretty tired recently. Thankfully my face looks like it's semi-rested. It's just the stress pimples have come out. And for lips, I'm going to moisturize them. If your lips are too dry, don't use a liquid lipstick. Use a lip stain or a lip balm, or even just a creamy lipstick. I'm again going against that. I'm using Times Square matte liquid lipstick from Colourpop. The trick with these is to moisturize your lips heaps before you put them on, and then they'll be semi-comfortable during the day. Lip liners help too. Also, exfoliate your lips. Make sure you do that. And last but not least, setting spray. I'm not going to put it on until my mascara is dry because Lord knows that can be a disaster. So either put it on before your mascara or once your mascara is fully dried. Also make sure that if you get little spots like these, you make sure the mascara is dry before you scratch it off, or else it can be an issue. Here we go. Here we go. And this is how you make your foundation look less shit. I'm just gonna like pose for you. I feel like the blush was a bit too harsh, but that's to make you look more fresh-faced. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon for another makeup video. How do you like my hair? I braided it last night and then I took them out this morning. Looks the same as usual. Anyway, yeah, so any tips on, anyone else have more tips on how to make your foundation look less shit? If you're having a bad skin day, let me know. Because I'm always in for more tips. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.